Get ready, comrades, because it's time to see what those kooky cosmonauts were up to during the Cold War. Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Russia! Sputnik, or as it's known in its home country, that. You know I'm terrible at pronouncing names, so I'm not even gonna try. Is brought to us by director Igor Andrenko, told you, and stars Oksana Akishina as Tatiana, a renowned psychologist who is brought in to evaluate a recently returned cosmonaut. Konstantin, played by Pyotr Fyodorov. I just butchered the shit out of all of those names, but I tried. After a bit of evaluation, Tatiana comes to find that there is a little bit more going on with Konstantin than she originally was told. And by a little bit, I mean his ass brought some shit back from space that he can't wash off. So it's up to Tatiana to help the military try and figure out how to separate this alien organism from Konstantin without killing him in the process, as well as try and figure out how this thing works, what it is, and ultimately what it wants. Sputnik is billed as a horror sci-fi, but it's not really that scary. It's actually a lot less horror and more mystery sci-fi than anything else. There are some horror elements here, I guess, but nothing really scary. Beyond an alien monster killing the fuck out of some people, but it's not really scary. In fact, the mystery is this movie's most intriguing part and what truly keeps you interested in watching all the way to the end. What is this thing? How did it get in him? And what does it want? These are all questions that for the most part do get answered, but the movie does do a really good job of slowly feeding us this information throughout its runtime so that we never get bored. However, closer to the end, once we do have all those answers, things do lose a bit of steam. The movie does pick up as far as its excitement at this point, but the mystery is more or less gone. There's nothing that's really there to intrigue us. And while it's not bad, the loss of that mystery doesn't make it quite as interesting at that point. I also would have liked the ending to have been a bit more ambiguous. I don't have a problem with it so much, and I guess I do understand why they did it that way, especially since this movie is based in the past in 1983, but I wish a bit of it had been left up in the air so that we're left afterwards thinking about, I wonder what happens next. As it stands though, you have pretty definitive answers to pretty much everything, and it does give you that closure. So since the movie does tie up pretty much all of its loose ends, I guess I really can't complain about it too much. Overall, it was satisfying. I think that there was just a part of me that wanted a little bit of that mystery back. The movie has a really good pace, and like I said earlier, it does divvy out the details in just the right doses throughout. I was very interested the whole time. However, there are periodically a few scenes that cut away to an orphanage that are a bit odd. Now by the end of the movie, I totally understand the scenes and know what's going on, and I get why they put them there, but I don't think that they really added much to the story. They're ultimately just these random odd moments in the movie that you're wondering what the hell is going on here. And even when you do realize what's going on, it doesn't really make much of a difference. All in all though, they probably comprise about 5 minutes of screen time, so it's not really that big a deal. And as a whole, the movie moves at a really brisk pace and keeps you engaged. The performances as a whole are all pretty good. They're all very grounded, believable performances for well-written characters. And thankfully the performances nor the story ever go off the rails. As a whole, they all play it fairly straight and do a pretty solid job at it. This movie's got some really good special effects too. I wouldn't go as far as to call it a special effects extravaganza or anything, but when they are on screen, they all look very convincing. Namely the creature. It's very icky and gooey, and its design is very alien. Not like the movie Alien, but just alien in general. It looks very alien, but does have some recognizable features, making it very menacing. The gore and violence here is realistically graphic, especially given the grounded premise. When it happens, there is plenty of it, and like I said, it is graphic, but it's never over the top. It's all very realistically done given the context. This isn't a gore freak's wet dream or anything, but fans of horror sci-fi should be more or less happy. Guys, I really enjoyed Sputnik. It had a very interesting premise that kept me engaged until the end, solid performances, and some great special effects. And while once the mystery is gone, it does lose a bit of something, it was still entertaining and absolutely worth a rent.
All he wanted was this.
I have to return some videotape.
If you're looking for an intelligent horror sci-fi that's a bit less horror and more sci-fi, then pick Sputnik up one night and you should be pleased. So there it is, guys, my review of Sputnik. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Kaliningrad. While I really enjoyed this movie, I gotta ask, what the fuck does any of it have to do with Sputnik? As far as I could tell, the Sputnik satellites are never even referenced in this movie. That's not where they weren't launching one. It has nothing to do with Sputnik, so I really don't know why it was called Sputnik. I don't know if that's just what they called it here in the States, if the name of it in Russia means something else, or whatever. I mean, for whatever reason, they went with Sputnik, and it just leaves me kind of confused. Granted, I spend a good bit of my life confused, so I guess it's just another day. I mean, hey, at least like some Russian movies, there wasn't an unbelievably forced love subplot in this one, so, you know, there's that.